Hi, today we're going to talk about a very controversial yet pretty interesting issue about the field of electronic commerce. The topic is called every move you take, every click you make will be tracking you. But first, let's meet the team that has contributed to the research we're having today. Nguyen Quang Lam, Nguyen Quynh, Gia Phu, Phan, Huyen, and Bui Phuong Chi. To begin with, let's take a look at an interesting example about Google and its tracking system. If Google ever chooses a corporate anthem we'll vote for, every breath you take by the police, which includes the possibly sweet creepy promise, I'll be watching you. Another two especially appropriate lines from the song are every move you make and every step you take, because Google already has those down. It is no secret that Google stores your location history. It pulls where you travel from the Google apps on your Android or Apple smartphone. Not only location, we also discovered that Google knows the following about us: our name, our gender and birth date, our personal cell phone numbers, our recent Google search, the website we visited, or what is in our shopping list, and so many more. So why would Google want to store our personal information? For advertising, of course. The more Google knows about us, the more advertising it can sell. Google does promise that it keeps all this data safe during transit between your computer or smartphone and its servers. It also says that its cloud infrastructure protects that data and that it doesn't give the government any direct access or backdoor access to any information. That's a big lie. Don't trust them. So how could Google track your information? Which tools are they using? Not only Google, but also all other e-commerce companies are tracking you. But how is that possible? The answer lays under the term web transaction logs, which records user activity at the website. Businesses can use the information recorded for their marketing and advertising purposes. However, since the quantity of information filed in a typical size log file is massive, businesses can choke on them. And so in order to utilize this technology comes the invention of tracking files. There are three main types of tracking files that you will typically meet online. Number one and the most common is cookie. But it's not the cookies from Oreo. This one is different. Cookies, or we might call computer cookies so as not to get confused, is defined as the small text files that website places on your computer's hard drive when you visit a website to store data and then later retrieve it. By offering customized service, these cookies can actually help you to facilitate browsing. With the purpose to track user various information, cookies are set up to collect your activities across websites that you visit. Usually cookies are known as first-party cookie or third-party cookies. First-party is the type of cookies that is created by the website that you have visited. On the other hand, third-party cookies are placed by someone other than the site you are on. Another tracking file we want to mention is web beacon, or you may call webbugs. These are small objects embedded into your web page or in an email. However, unlike cookies, which usually appear on the screen when you enter the website, web beacons are mostly not visible. The use of web beacon is to monitor the behavior of the user visiting the website or sending the email, and therefore track your clicks, choices, purchases, location data, and send those information, often in real time, back to advertisers tracking you. In reality, webbugs are used in combination with cookies to build cross-site profiles. A cousin of cookie also make a list is Flash cookie, a small file stored on your computer by a website that has Adobe Flash Player required content. Unlike the function of cookies, but the Flash cookie is more harmful. It is harder to spot, and the data it can store in a single file is 5,000 times higher than that a regular cookie can manage. Now let's turn the light to the second part, the guidelines and legislation that were set by the authorities to protect user privacy. First, let's begin with the guidelines. For the usage of web beacon, the Privacy Foundation has issued guidelines for the web beacon users. The guidelines suggest that web beacon should be visible as an icon on the screen. The icon should be labeled to indicate its function, and it should identify the name of the company that placed the web beacon on the page. In addition, if a user clicks on a web beacon, It should display a disclosure statement indicating what data is being collected, how the data is used after it is collected, what companies receive the data, what other data the web beacon is combined with, and whether or not a cookie is associated with the web beacon. Users should be able to opt out any data collection done by the web beacon, and the web beacon should not be used to collect information from the web pages of a sensitive nature, such as medical, financial, job-related, or sexual matters. However, none of these ideas are found in current law. Many sites have adopted the Network Advertising Initiative self-regulatory guidelines, but these two are only voluntary, and these guidelines have done little to assuage fears from web users that their privacy is at risk. Now, here comes the final part of today's discussion, the restricted legislation in the European Union, or what we like to call Meanwhile in another universe. The EU cookie law provides that the websites must ask visitors for their consent before they can install most cookies. In January of 2017, the European Commission released a proposal to repeal the EU cookie law and replace with a new regulation that would simplify the cookie rules. The changes are clear. Most websites have implemented this requirement by displaying cookie banners at the top or bottom of the screen, which some users find pretty annoying. The proposed rule exempts cookies that are merely used to count the number of visitors to the site, and clarifies that consent is not required for non-privacy intrusive cookies aimed at improving the customer experience, such as for remembering shopping cart history. The new rule also proposes to allow users to set privacy settings via web browser software, with websites that detecting a visitor's setting and automatically removing the cookie notice if the use had already been deliberately approved or blocked via the browser settings.